Well, here's the video. I have been accumulating cameras for many years, and I have been using some of these cameras, some of them not, some of them I just got because I like the idea of having that specific cool camera. But that is not how I want to live my life anymore. At least that is my New Year's resolution, because I realize that I'm not using all of these cameras and someone out there would want to use them, like I did once upon a time. So in this video, I will be going through all of my cameras and I will be keeping a little bit of them and I'll be getting rid of the rest. Now, I have been postponing this video for a very long time because I simply go there and just get a camera and just play with it. And it's just so enjoyable, that turning the focus ring or something, but I don't really use them. It just makes me more sad to have them than to not have them at this point, than the idea to not have them anymore at this point. So this video, I'll be putting them all on the ground here and I'll be sorting them into two piles. And yeah, it's gonna be a hard one. I mean, it's not a lot, is it? By the way, these are just the cameras that I have for my own personal use. And these do not include all the lenses. There are the lenses for the Fuji over there, the cinema lenses I have. And there is also a kit lens for the Lumix S5, which we will get into in a second. Now let's start with the small ones, shall we? This Sony, I will actually put some photos up from this camera. I don't have the charger for this. I don't know where the charger is. I just need to find the charger. This is the first ever camera I got from my parents. This was like 2009, 2010. This is so small, just like it's smaller than a Rollei 35 in all dimensions. It's so cute. I think I'll gift this to my sister actually, but for that I need to first find the charger. But keep for now. Olympus Pen 19, I think. This is the original model, so this is the earliest model. This has been serviced and it's in the smoothest condition. This camera is just, it's like brand new right now. I love this camera, but the issue is that it has the same lens when you multiply it. It has the same lens to the as the Rollei 35, so the field of view looks the same with the Rollei 35. So if I keep the Rollei 35, I have to not keep this one. It takes sharp photos. It takes 72 photos. That's the advantage, instead of 36 photos. But I just don't use it. I never could finish a roll of film with this. That was the issue. It was just too much. When you shoot film, the main idea is the limitation, and this was just not the limitation that I was looking for, because you could shoot so many photos. Okay, then we get into Rollei 35. Some of you may know, this is my favorite camera. I have repaired many of these and I just love this camera. I wish Leica had made this camera, so it was called Leica something. You may know that the guy actually tried to get Leica to make this, and Leica just didn't take it. For me, this is the best camera. I love it. It's super sharp. The lens is insanely sharp, even the Tessar version. Not on color film, I heard, but I mean, so far actually, I didn't really have an issue with it. I have this custom-made hood on this camera, and it's a little brassed. That's also something I like about this. It's just a beautiful camera, and this is what I will keep for shooting film. I don't shoot a lot of film nowadays, but for black and white film, I mean, I like black and white for when it's film and not really digital. So if I want to shoot black and white, this is, I feel like, the camera that I should go with. Oh, this is a sad one. The Leica CL. I had this camera many times. This is, I think, the 5th Leica CL I have. There is still a film inside that I need to finish. and after that it will be sold. This one, the lens has been serviced. It's in good condition. The camera also works flawlessly. Everything is really nice. The lens is in amazing condition. It's just that I never liked this camera. I never could. And in comparison to when I have the Rollei 35, this has the same lens. This is 40 millimeters. Rollei 35 also has 40 millimeters. And it's just a little bit smaller, the Rollei 35. And I don't know, it's just, to me, the Rollei 35 is much nicer of a camera than the Leica. I just don't get it, why, myself. This has f2, but have I ever used it f2? I don't know, I don't think so. Once again, and for the last time, going away, Leica CL. Now a couple of hard ones. Now this is this is a tool basically. This I use on the Fuji for infinity calibration of stuff. So this doesn't really count. Stays. 7 Artisans 35mm 1.4 for Leica M. Now I'm not keeping any Leica M cameras, but I am keeping the glasses for the S5. This is an amazing lens. If you do not know what 7 Artisans is, they're from China. They make amazing Leica lenses among other lenses, and this one I just like this lens. It's really good. When you open it up, it has this character. When you close it down, it's sharp. It's tack sharp. It's just everything I like from a lens. The Pentax Spotmatic. This has a 51.4 lens in it. I never used it. I'll never use it. I know myself. Bye-bye. Zorki. Now, this one is a little hard for me because normally these cameras have no value. They are, if they work, they work. If not, they're trash. But this specific one, I repaired and built a new shutter for it. And it makes me sad to see it go. But fairly enough, I never use it, so it must go. The shutter sounds amazing. It's a great camera. Somebody else should appreciate it. And this is the point of this entire thing. Someone else should take care of these cameras, should love them more than I ever could. And yeah. Here we have Canon Prima Twin S. This has like dual focal range, 38 and 70. It's actually a good camera. It's like a fun toy camera. Not really toy, but it's like a point and shoot. Not really my style, but you know, it's cool. I'll keep this for actually my sister again, because she's interested in this stuff. In point and shoots, I'm not. Canon Prima Mini. This one is an interesting one. I repaired this one. It's almost trash. It's almost dying. It's almost dead. I repaired this one. I built a new gear inside it where there was one gear that was broken. I don't know how long it will last. There's another roll of film inside, so I'll just shoot that. And I'll keep it as well until it dies, which is probably not so long in the future. The Nikonos V. Now this camera was a gift to me from a family friend, and he was the first owner. Everything is with this camera, so there is the original oils, the original grease, new gaskets. It's in superb condition. I still have film inside from 2019, which was when we went to Asia with Sabine, and I really liked it. It was like, you know, it's a titan. You cannot break this camera. This camera is like, nothing would happen to this other than the electronics inside dying by themselves. But it's a great camera, and you can go underwater with it, and I've done that before. I totally would recommend this to anyone. I just don't use it, and that's, again, sad, but it must go. I'll finish the roll inside, and then I'll put it on sale. The lens on this is superb. It's so sharp. One of my favorite photos of Sabine I've taken with this. I really, really like it. So yeah, if you're looking for a funky camera, this definitely is, and it's super cheap in comparison to many other cameras I have here. Yeah, it's a fun camera to start with if you're doing some extreme stuff, I guess. It's like the GoPro of the 80s. Now, the Horizon. The Horizon is a camera that is not nice. It has infinity focus. It's like an X Pen, but it's like a plastic X Pen, and it has a rotating lens, so you could just be moving in the frame as the lens rotates. It's not bad. It leaks light, I think, this one, but it's going on sale not because of these reasons, but because I don't use it. There is a CineStill film in it, and it has the opportunity to convince me otherwise. But if it cannot, and I am assuming it will not, it has to go. So the Canon zoom lens that I have here, this has been a good lens, 80 to 200. I've used this for photography, for sports photography actually once. It's a great lens. I don't think I have any use case for it anymore. It's just, it's sadly one of those things that you need to, you know, get rid of in life. And yeah, sad, but I mean, I don't need it. I don't use this kind of zoom lenses. I don't zoom into anything. That's the thing. I don't zoom into anything. And for that, I don't need a zoom lens. Oh, this is a good one. So how do you open this exactly? So if you know what Exakta is, you probably understand why I feel a little sad to get rid of this. It is a superb camera with a superb lens on it that has like holes in the shutter curtain, so it's not usable anymore. And I don't have any interest to get it fixed or fix it myself, just because I have so many cameras. So maybe someone would. And the bonus of that is the Biotar lens on it. This is, do you know Helios 40-44? That's the lens that is used in Batman and shit like that. It's been rehoused many times. I think it's called Iron Glass. They rehouse these lenses, and this is the father of that lens. So this is the sharper, better version of that lens. And this lens, I actually have it serviced. It's smooth as butter. So I'm actually going to be selling this lens, and this camera basically comes as a lens cap for that lens. Some lenses. 7 Artisans, 12mm 2.8. I have to make a comparisons video between this and the Cine lens that they have, because I have that Cine lens. I have to make the video, but I know that the Cine lens is much better for video purposes because it doesn't breathe as much. This breathes like crazy. It is sharp. It is a Zeiss design, a copied Zeiss design, and it's a really compact lens. So if anybody's looking for a wide lens that is cheap, this is probably the one for Fuji, for APS-C. A similar case we have here is the 35 0.95 from 7 Artisans. I have the cinema lens of this, so I don't need the stills version of the same lens. I have the same lens in a cine body, and that's what I would use for my use cases with the Fuji. Great lens. I have another one. Bye-bye. Here comes a special one. This one is a Zeiss Sonnar 1.5, 5 centimeters, so 50 millimeters, from 1942. This is during the Second World War. This has been serviced. It's in superb condition, and it's a little bit of a mix because it looks like it's a fake one, but it has been confirmed that it is not. The inside glass elements have engravings on them that suggest that it is an original one, but the outside body looks fake. Looks like a Russian copy. Now the front engravings also match, and the front brass ring also matches the original ones. So it's a mismatch. I'm not sure what happened to this lens, but it's a very rare one. It's also really great. I will be comparing this with other sonars in a video. I have done a similar video to this sonar comparison in the past couple of years ago. It's not really good, but if you're interested in sonars specifically, that video you should maybe watch. but it does go because I don't use it after I make the video. The Dream Lens, well, at least the 1.2 of the Dream Lens. The Canon Dream Lens is famous for Netflix movies like that zombie movie, I don't remember the name anymore, this Snyder movie, I think it was that. Anyways, it's been used in movies. This is the cheaper version of that. This is the 1.2 version of that. It's a great lens. It is serviced and it has new amazing grease in it, and it doesn't have the haze issue that most of them keep having, at least not anymore. It comes with an original UV filter. It's in great condition. I'm not sure if I'll sell this. I'm putting it in this sell pile now, but if I don't, you'll know in a couple of years. The beautiful 7 Artisans 51.1. Now this is the lens that I would go for. It has amazing character, wide open at 1.1, and when you close it a little down at 1.4 to 2, it's really sharp and it's really smooth. It has that character, but also it can be tag sharp. Those are characteristics I like in a lens, and it has short focus throw, so you can do fast action stuff, I guess. This goes next to the other Leica lens I have from 7 Artisans and stays there because it's a nice one. The S5. Now this is the second version of this lens. This camera is actually coming out soon, but I'm not going to buy that because I don't care. The reason I bought this camera is for street photography, and specifically manual focus street photography. Now, if you know the Fuji X100V, which is the most hyped camera of 2022, at the end of 2022, it does not manual focus like a Leica Q. Leica Q has that tab where you can manual focus, and it actually works great, but the Fuji X100s, they just cannot do that. And also it doesn't have things like IBIS. The files are not nice to work with on my computer, at least. So I just decided, okay, I'm gonna go for a big boy, and this is that big boy. It has the 28mm 3.5 from Pentax on it right now. It's a great lens. I don't really care that much about the age of the lens. If it's good, it's good. And this is a good lens. And you can just do zone focusing with this, basically, and do street photography. And this camera is for that. But if I go on a trip, I'll be bringing this camera with like a couple of lenses, a microphone, and I would also be making videos with it instead of taking my rig, an entire rig with me. So that's why this one is going to stay. It's not that light, actually. I thought it would be smaller and lighter. I have not so big hands, so this feels like holding an entire brick for me. And it is, other than that, it has great image quality. It's made for video, which is a plus and a minus, because all the buttons are like mushy, and it's really not the nicest camera to use. But just from a pure utilitarian view, it can take amazing images. Therefore, it is a good camera. All the other things, I guess they matter in the sense that I can, for example, focus nicely because there's focus peaking, but there is a couple of things missing that I would maybe have, such as a shutter button that has that nice clickety-click. Just listen to this, listen to this. And then listen to perhaps a Fuji X100V. That half press is a click in the X100V, and in this is just a one continuous button. It's terrible. But it takes amazing photos. I have seen the RAW files, I've used the RAW files, they're really nice to work with. So I keep it. The X100V. Many photographers love this camera, and I am among them. Now, Fuji X100 series is perhaps the best camera for everyday photography, and it can be customized in a billion different ways, but it has some downsides to it. First of all, yes, it's built nicely, but not Leica nice, not as nice as a Leica Q2 would be or a Leica M series would be, and it lacks in manual focus, which is a big deal if interested in manual focus. Yes, it has some features for manual focus assist. It has the sliding up and down thingies in the viewfinder. It has the OVF. Yes, all of these things are great. It has the dials and buttons, etc. But it's just not as good in some aspects. It overheats. I haven't had it turned off because of overheating, but it does overheat. Similar to, for example, what Fuji X-T3 might do. It does overheat, but honestly, it's a great camera. I love the film emulations that I have built in myself, as well as the ones I took off of the internet. I have a Kodak Gold emulation for it, and some other emulations for it. They work really nice if you're just taking photos of your everyday life, your friends and family, and you don't really want to go into your computer and edit raw photos. That works amazing. You can just put from this to your computer or from this to your phone and directly post it. Whereas the S5, I would have to, I mean, I can also use it on my phone, but I most realistically would put the files onto a computer, select the ones that I would like to keep. Those I edit, and then that's like a street photography portfolio, I would say. I would keep those in there. And this one, it can also take raw photos, but it's not really realistic that you're going to be editing a lot of the photos with this. I personally don't, I personally wouldn't. Whereas this, it's just inside the camera, there's not that many things that you can do to make it as good out of the camera as you can with the Fuji X100V. Wow, that's almost all of them. Now the last one is an interesting one. This is the Frankenstein camera that I have. This is a Samsung NX Mini. It has a 1-inch sensor, and it has a lens built onto it that is from the 1950s, I believe. It can shoot infrared, and I will use this one to shoot, to emulate aerochrome. And the adapter is 3D printed. I basically semi-destroyed this camera. It's it cannot be used with autofocus anymore. It cannot be used with flash. It can only be used with this lens in this kit, and that's it. And I will make a video about this at some point, because it's been an ongoing project for like 4 or 5 years now. It is great. The lens on it is great. It took a while for me to assemble this together, do the designs. I love it. It's a really nice camera. That's why I'm going to keep it. And that concludes the video. I have all the cameras separated into 2 piles. I am keeping the X100V, S5, Rollei 35, and the NX Mini for myself, with some lenses and some stuff for my sister. And in the other pile, we have the cameras that are going away. It's kind of sad that they're going away, but I feel like in life you shouldn't be holding on to the things that don't make you happy anymore. And I have decided recently that these cause a lot of anxiety instead of happiness. And that is not what these cameras should be doing. Yes, they're nice. Yes, they're useful, but only if you're using them. If they're in a shelf, just getting dusty and waiting for you to one day grab onto them and use them, what's the point? I hope this kind of inspired you to get rid of stuff and not necessarily go out and buy these cameras if you don't have a camera. And if you need a camera, and that word need should be highlighted, you can go get these cameras. I will put the link in the description where you can get these cameras. Most of them are serviced and are in great condition. It's just that I don't need them anymore, as you heard. Thank you for watching, and I look forward to seeing you in a future video.